Super League table. Once top of the Women's Super League table, once again keeping up their 100% start to the league season, leading Brighton 2-0 as we approach the second half at the People's Pension Stadium in Crawley. Arsenal's all-time record goal scorer Jane Ludlow alongside me. And Jane, Joe Montemuro, you were speculating what he might have said to the side at half-time. A lot of positives for Arsenal to take, but also some errors to iron out. And in terms of Brighton, that player we just saw there on the screen, Denise O'Sullivan, if they are to get back into this game, she will be key.
Yeah, look, from an Arsenal perspective, you'd be happy right now. 2-0, you're managing to expose space fairly well, especially in wide areas. So interesting to see if that trend continues now for the second half. But for Brighton, we said already, you know, at the start of the programme, they started really well. The pressing situation, they were organised, they were pinching balls back, created one or two opportunities, but then faded away for the next 20 minutes, you know, in a sense of having opportunities on goal. But they're working extremely hard for each other, need to tighten up in and around the box defensively, but it's very much still in the game.
And they will hope this player will help them get back into the game. In terms of the score sheet, Megan Connolly coming on at half-time for Rihanna Jarrett, another Republic of Ireland international entering the fray. So Arsenal get us underway in this second half. Goals from the double Dutch, Miedema and Van der Donk. Arsenal starting this second half with a bright tempo. I think, Jane Ludlow, they might have heard you discussing that bright start from Brighton. Arsenal came out in the first half, didn't manage to set the tempo. They look as though they do not want to make the same mistake.
No, definitely passing the ball around quicker, aren't they? Obviously, they're being pushed back right now again, though, by some good organisation from Brighton. But still, you know, in possession of the ball. Jenny Beattie here just looking for opportunities to try and exploit some space. But they are, you know, keeping the ball within the back line and just moving the ball around to see what's going to open up for them right now.
Well, Arsenal have been dominant in their recent encounters with Brighton. In fact, the last 3 times they've met in the league, Arsenal have won 4-0 on each occasion. But as we've mentioned, Brighton have shown flashes of how they might be able to hurt Arsenal, but Arsenal have certainly done the same at the other end, and trying to do so early in the second half. Maya. Space for Mead. Well blocked behind by Gibbons.
Good build-up from Arsenal. They're obviously going a little bit longer over to the left-hand side, exposing some space there. But what's always good about the Arsenal play when they're on form is how they support each other. If somebody's receiving the ball under pressure, 9 times out of 10, they'll have an option to play back in one touch to keep the move working, and their awareness of each other is great in possession.
McCabe will send this in. It's a dangerous one. And that is over the line. Brighton unable to keep it out. And Jen Beattie congratulated. Well, Brighton 0, Arsenal 3.
Well, Jen Beattie is generally one of the biggest players on the pitch, usually, and always a problem to defend against from set play perspective. Good delivery here from Katie McCabe, good in-swinging left foot, and look, she's unmarked, so you would expect somebody with Jen's ability in the air to put that in the back of the net, and she has done. Obviously, could be a bit contentious, has it crossed the line or not, but if you look at where the leg is swinging from the Brighton defender, I guess we'd assume that it is right now.
Well, it's her first goal of the season, Jen Beattie. Back from injury for the last 3 matches. And as you say, Jane Ludlow, she is so formidable in the opposition box at set pieces, and this woman is formidable as well. Viviana Miedema. Brighton can't take it off her. Mead will send it in.
Well, that trend is happening again, isn't it? You know, pinching in midfield areas from Arsenal. And, you know, we saw Van der Donk in the first half. We've seen it again here. And one pass into Miedema and she's in on goal. Not taking that opportunity in that instance, but it's definitely a problem area for Brighton.
And whatever was said at half-time by Hope Powell, keeping it tight at the start of this second half, I'm sure would have been high up the list. And very tall order for Brighton to come back from this, as Miedema tries to make it 4.
Oh, Brighton have got away with one there, haven't they? The space between the back line is gigantic between centre-back and full-back at one point. And look, we're looking at one of the top players in the world here, and she'll be disappointed. A little bit of a smile on her face. But again, we see the fake dragging it onto the other foot, but body shape was a bit all over the place for the final strike. But again, another opportunity for her.
Yes, perhaps when you score the opener, when your side are 3-0 up, you can afford to have a little chuckle at yourself.
I'm sure it'd be different if it was 0-0 right now.
And if she hadn't scored.
Fair enough.
But this is about winning individual battles for Brighton now. They've only scored once in the WSL against Arsenal. That was the first meeting all the way back in November 2018. It's finding those little targets to aim for now. 3-0 down early on in this second half. Can they get a goal back? They might be able to with O'Sullivan. Excellently covered by Beattie.
Arsenal a little bit casual there, weren't they, under pressure, but managed to get away from it.
Brighton on the ball again, though. Connolly, the substitute. Cargman just in a little bit of trouble there for Brighton. Back to her feet now. And here she is. We'll go for goal. Cargman, and that's not a bad effort.
Good strike in the end. I thought it might actually be going in, but obviously goalkeepers has too much time really to be able to deal with it. Moves her feet well and obviously deals with this easy enough in the end, but good strike from Cargman.
Better this from Brighton. Bowman just dispossessed. And here come Arsenal. Good challenge by Le Tissier. Well, you can't score at a goal-scoring drought, really, Jane Ludlow, when you've only scored once in 4 matches. Now 2 in her last 5 for Viviana Miedema, but her numbers are so impressive. She's one of those players where if she doesn't score pretty much every game, people say, oh, Miedema didn't score today, and there's that little question mark, which is absurd, really. But it's the standards that she sets, the profile that she has, and the numbers that she racks up.
Yeah, and it's the level of player that she is. You know, there is high expectations on her, and more often than not, she does deliver.
And she's delivered this afternoon. Arsenal are delivering as well, heading top of the Women's Super League table, his side. Hope Powell trying to find some sort of way to respond with Brighton, who are looking to try and find some form after just stuttering a little recently in the WSL after a bright start. Lost in their FA Cup quarter-final as well to Birmingham on penalties. In fact, they've lost their last 2 matches at this stadium on penalty shootouts. They will have a free kick, though. In fact, it will go Arsenal's way. Here is Ford. Meyer was waiting there. Green with it for Brighton. Does well, Kaylee Green.
Yeah, and we see, you know, she's playing in wide midfield role, but we see from Brighton today, you know, that their wingers are fairly deep. They're definitely ones that need to be helping out defensively, but it does make it so much tougher for them then to be effective going forwards, because they're breaking from very deep areas when they do get the ball.
Forward from Valti. Here's O'Sullivan. Showed good awareness there, was cognizant of the fact that Mead was lurking.
She's very tidy on the ball, isn't she? It's probably a bit of a Welsh word, but very, very, very tidy on the ball. There's not too many opportunities when she's given the ball away without, with or without pressure. She's very capable technically on the ball, Denise O'Sullivan.
And as you say, Jane, she went under the radar a little with the number of American World Cup winning stars coming over from the league. Arsenal breaking forward here. Kirkdyke with a vital interception because Ford was lurking right behind her.
And you can see Katie McCabe, she's so annoyed with herself. You can see her reaction as soon as she let the ball go. The detail on the pass, obviously not what she intended here, because great opportunity for Arsenal again. You know, a little bit more power on the pass and Ford would have been in one-touch finish potentially. But good break again in wide areas, exploiting the space that's opening up, whether it's on the outside shoulder or inside shoulder of the full-back right now for Brighton.
Well away for Brighton. Arsenal will send it back in though. The scooped delivery helped clear by Connolly.
Surprised Brighton haven't tightened up that second phase on a short corner, because it happened 3 or 4 times I think in the first half where Arsenal have managed to play a 1-2 and the player who's actually played the corner is still onside, and usually, you know, backlines would get up quicker to stop that happening, but we just saw it again, and it hasn't led to a goal thankfully for Brighton, but it's potentially a problem area for them if they don't correct it.
Williamson forward, won't fall 4 metre mark. Even just getting on the score sheet would be a positive for Brighton. Haven't scored in their last 2 league games, in fact. Haven't gone 3 in a row without scoring in the WSL since February 2019. Just don't want to build that sort of momentum as Caitlin Ford wants a foul there. Big smile on her face, but I think there might be frustration inside.
Yeah, interesting tussle going on there with the fullback and forward.
So change for Arsenal. Lotte Wubben-Moy has replaced Leonie Meyer. Started in their Continental Cup match in midweek. Wubben-Moy, one of those who has rejoined the club after leaving to play college football in the USA. Joined them again this summer. Very talented young player.
Yeah, and one of a number that have come through, you know, the development system at the club, you know, is renowned for bringing through youngsters and then giving them opportunities.
Well, won by Kaagman for Brighton. Baumann just turning away from Guten van der Donk. Here goes Connolly. Into the area looking for that pass. Instead, Brighton will opt to use Kaagman. Baumann. That's an incisive ball, just cleared away by Beth Mead. That was good vision from Brighton. And Arsenal just keep it in. Van der Donk will tidy up. But positive pressing from the home side.
Yeah, you know, they're still working very hard, aren't they? And they are trying to pinch the ball back in the opposition half. But it does open up gaps against them at times. You know, they're trying to keep this compact 4-4-2 shape and organisation. Arsenal have tried different ways to break it down. Again, we're seeing very split centre-backs here, and then obviously see the good of Valti as an option then to play inside to in the middle. And here we see Valti playing the ball out onto the left-hand side for Mead.
Here is England's Beth Mead up against Le Tissier, who does well, the 18-year-old. Beth Mead, always a handful for any defender. So Arsenal corner, pushing for this fourth goal. Mead with the delivery. Van der Donk picks it up. Ford will attempt the crot, I think. We can call it that.
Love it that there's a word for when you mishit something. I love it. I wish that was around when I was playing. I'd be saying it all the time.
So another change for Arsenal. Victoria Schnaderbeck will replace the scorer of their third goal, Jen Beattie. Again, Arsenal will just want to be careful with her, given her injury concerns.
She's been out for a good length of time, hasn't she? So it's obviously good to see her back, but obviously the club will be sensible about the minutes she's playing and the load in right now. And obviously Schnaderbeck is a very good player that can come in and take her place too.
Well, she's got a goal off the mark for the season, Jen Beattie. And Arsenal heading top of the Women's Super League. Brighton still pushing though.
They're probing, aren't they? It's just not the cutting edge, you know, in that final third. It's not quite happening for them, whether it's because they can't get enough numbers forward or just details of passes and decision making right now.
Ruben Moy steps away from Whelan.
Speaking about Ruben Moy, you know, they did mention that the club have a good history of bringing through young players, but not necessarily to play in their first team. You know, we see Leah Williamson here, who's definitely, you know, one of the best products that have come through the club, but not. It's got a history of a great development system there, but not necessarily getting at the levels that the Arsenal team need. They're generally very good players that are coming out of the system and playing for WSL teams or similar level of teams in different countries, but very few are actually getting to the point where they're being a regular starter within the club. And obviously Williamson, as I mentioned, is the one that shone.
Yeah, she's been with Arsenal since she was 9 years old, Leah Williamson. Childhood Arsenal fan, and as Jane says, one that has really taken her chance at this club and progressed to the senior setup with Arsenal, with England as well. Whelan send it in for Brighton. It's a dangerous one. Away by Van der Donk. And Mead will complete the clearance. Miedema will chase this. Kirkdijk has to be careful. Just gets enough on it. But that was dangerous from Brighton.
Yeah, they're an interesting team, aren't they, this year, Brighton? Obviously, watch their previous games, and they can be very effective on the ball, but obviously they're shining without the ball the majority of the time, and they're very organised. Defensively, they're working very hard for each other, but I'm sure Hope Powell will want more from them when they are getting opportunities and obviously creating more opportunities as well.
Here is Williamson. Beautiful crossfield delivery. Now Miedema. Mead. Valti. Arsenal so comfortable in possession, but just that reminder there from Brighton that they need to stay switched on and alert in their own penalty area. Lovely turn from Valti. Van der Donk won't get there ahead of Kirkdijk. It will fall to Mead, who went for the volley.
Well, we've seen on a couple of occasions now in build-up play Arsenal choosing to go through the middle, which we didn't see too much in the first half, but the spaces are open up there. They're going through the middle, drawing the Brighton defenders in, and then using the wide areas that the space is then being exposed in. You always see, obviously, the chance from Brighton and Whelan delivering in with left foot. A little bit unbalanced, but good delivery at the end of it, taking on Wubben-Moy in a wide area. Does very well to get the delivery in, just not quite connecting with enough power there. I believe it was Kaylee Green winning the header against Williamson, but not quite coming off for Brighton. The word I'd use about Brighton as a team right now is committed. Very committed in their defensive jobs and organising. You can see them all speak. You know, you can see them all organising each other. They're obviously talking as well, but you can see arms moving. They're checking shoulders. They're seeing where the movement's happening, trying to stop this Arsenal team playing through them at any point. And the majority of the game has worked, as we see Arsenal again choosing to go round because that's where the space is and it's opening up. But it is potentially less dangerous than going straight through the middle of Brighton.
Yes, Arsenal have had to work hard for this 3-0 lead, which incidentally takes them onto a club record scoring streak in the WSL. They have scored in their last 29 games. Quite remarkable how proficient they are in front of goal.
Yes, a great start, and what they'll...
And they might get another one here. Ricochets to Miedema, but the flag is up. She was just in an offside position.
Yeah, and what I was going to say is obviously the stat they'll want to ensure becomes better. This game, maybe the start point of it is that they're letting less goals in. When you look at the goals scored against them in the week, obviously that must be a disappointment from them.
That was my next stat, Jane Ludlow. You've stolen it from me, but it's it's an excellent point. Yes, 1 clean sheet in their 6 games this season, Arsenal, as Brighton take off captain Danny Bowman. Victoria Williams comes on. But as you say, completely right, Jane, to keep their 2nd clean sheet of the season would be as positive, I think, for Joe Montemuro as scoring those 3 goals at the other end, because in those matches against Manchester City, against Chelsea, Everton, Manchester United as well, who have started this season excellently, they need to be tight at the back. They know that. They know that if they want to wrest that title away from Chelsea to return to being domestic champions, and they will need to improve on that aspect of their game. Yes, you can sometimes score 9 goals, as they did against West Ham, 6 against Reading, 3 this afternoon, but it's not always enough against those top sides. Here is Mead. Wubben-Moy, chased by Green, well challenged by Green. And Green will just keep that in. Protest from Arsenal. Play allowed to continue. Green still going. This is a fabulous run. Van der Donk back defending. And Arsenal won't clear their lines, or will. The free kick goes Arsenal's way, and I'm not sure Brighton will be too happy about that.
Good break from Kaylee Green. I don't think the ball went out. I'm not sure if we'll see it again, but this is an interesting one from a free kick perspective. Kaylee's just tired and she's obviously fallen. She's trying to do her best there. So interesting decision there from the referee, but obviously gone Arsenal way. But good break from Brighton. But again, it's the final detail. When Kaylee Green watches that back, she'll question whether she could have made a different decision with the pass.
Well, on that free kick, neither player got any of the balls. So it's one of those where you wonder whether the referee might just let it play on and see who comes out on top. I'm sure Brighton will feel that that could have just as easily gone their way with Williamson sliding in. Here is Ford under pressure from Whelan. Good strength from the Australian. Lovely ball to Miedema. Aiming for the red shirts in the area. Won't fall for Wubben-Moy. Brighton will bring the ball away. That's loose, trying to play their way out of trouble. Van der Donk receives it back. Spotted the run of Mead, and so did Victoria Williams. Very well read at the back for Brighton by the substitute. But Arsenal still coming forward, Goop dispossessed.
Some interesting passages there. From a Brighton defensive point of view, we've got Stott, who's very much a centre-back who follows people into spaces, and there were 2 occasions where the space alongside, just where she's vacated alongside Kirkdyke, has opened up massively. But Arsenal not making the most of that space right now. But it'd be interesting to see if that trend continues. Obviously centre-backs can be asked to do different things depending on tactically what the coach wants, but yeah, ideally you don't want to be opening up space on the edge of your box and relying on just your one centre-back and obviously delayed full-back compactness with that to try and keep this Arsenal team out.
Beautiful control by Wubben-Moy, the Arsenal number 3, on the ball here again. Lovely first-time ball for Van der Donk. It will fall to her, almost. Kirkdyke going down. And referee Kirsty Dow saying that that was a coming together.
Have they given a goal kick? I'm not quite sure what's been given you at the moment.
Well, Kirkdyke certainly gets there first, doesn't she?
Yeah. Oh, so... No, it's a goal kick they've given, I believe. Oh, well, we'll move on from that one.
Either way, the decision is Brighton's. But Arsenal again taking charge in that midfield. Here is Schneiderbeck. You wonder whether they are aware of that run against Brighton, winning their last 3 games in the WSL by 4-0. When you're 3-0 up, it's within touching distance.
Well, some of them might be statos, but I'm sure they're just thinking, right, can I get another goal? Especially Miedema on the ball there. Yeah, they'll just want to get more and more goals the longer they play. They're fairly patient in their play right now, but you see Brighton back on the ball. What can they create? Can they get enough bodies forward and get the end pass a bit more effective than it has been so far in the game?
And you touched on it there, Jane Ludlow. They are committing bodies forward, Brighton, when they have the opportunity to build in possession.
Obviously, since Williams has come on the pitch, he's taken the right back spot, and Leticia's playing a little bit higher up on the pitch, which, you know, tactically is a change. But Williams herself is a great defender. You know, seen her play as centre back for many years, but can do the full back role, and she has done already in the game so far this season.
Here goes Caitlin Ford for Arsenal. Early delivery in, met by Kirkdyke. Yeah, she's a former academy player, Victoria Williams, at Arsenal.
Yes, had a few years alongside Victoria Williams, and can't speak highly enough of her again. Great personality, just makes you smile. All day long makes you smile. And from a footballer perspective, really good technician and good work ethic as well, which has obviously led her to a point of being a WSL player now for a good few years.
Yes, that experience from Victoria Williams, so key for this Brighton side. Only in their 3rd season as a fully professional club. And that will be a free kick to Arsenal. Good work from Caitlin Ford.
Connolly just trying to obviously get the ball back, and feet getting a little bit tangled up. Just in a wide area, and a good opportunity here again.
Ford at the heart of it for Arsenal. Will it be 4 goals for Arsenal? Mead is over this one. McCabe coming as an option as well. It will be Mead to swing it in. And the ball is in the net. But the whistle has already gone. And Brighton escape. There was a big shout for a foul, wasn't there, Jane Ludlow?
Yeah, oh, Williamson's just pulled her back, I think, hasn't she? And you can see that, obviously, the defender there is not particularly happy. And I wouldn't be either, because sometimes they do get missed from an official's point of view, from a refereeing point of view, but not in that instance.
So no 4th for Arsenal yet. Kaylee Green certainly not happy. Frustration just simmering up for Brighton.
Well, she will share her thoughts, Kaylee's another thing that I love about her, because she's definitely a player who's very honest and outspoken, and that works well for me. You know, she's all our players are very much individuals, and we work with them in who they are as personalities, and she's definitely one of the stronger personalities.
Here is Ruben Moy. Valti. Schnaderbeck. Space down this left now for Arsenal. Letitia trying to get back there and defend, and that's an excellent challenge from the 18-year-old. Caitlin Foord again looking dangerous.
Great run here, good drive, but good defending in the end. You know, stayed on her feet for as long as she could and ended up getting the interception there.
So corner to Arsenal. Taken short. Will Brighton deal with that short corner better this time? They haven't managed to stop the ball across, but they will manage to clear through Gibbons. Miedema just pulled back there. Unnecessary really from Gibbons, just that extra little pull at Miedema's arm as they tussled for the ball. Challenged by Williams, forward by Valti. And now space again for Foord. Can she pick out a teammate? The deflection will take it behind. And it's another Arsenal corner. They want this fourth goal, Jane Ludlow.
They do, and you know, it's a sign of the team, isn't it? You know, they do go after people. It's not a case of just keeping the ball in their own half right now, happy with the 3-0, they'll want more.
Mead it will be to send it in again. Well cleared away. Brighton, interesting choice of pass, playing it back into your own penalty area. But it does pay off. Here is Williams. Ruben Moy under pressure. And Gut will help to tidy up her first league start this afternoon for Arsenal. Marlon Gut, the 20-year-old Switzerland international. Hasn't been on the ball too much, but Arsenal have controlled that midfield. Here comes Whelan, though. Arsenal preparing to make another substitution, and it will be the youngster Ruby Mace to enter the field. And a big moment for the 17-year-old making her league debut for Arsenal, replacing Caitlin Foord, who has worked so hard, the Australian.
Yeah, she had a good game, hasn't she? It's just not quite come off at times when she's had an opportunity to put that pinpoint delivery in or get an opportunity herself. But really good work ethic from her, and did a very good job for the team today, and now she gets a rest.
So Ruby Mace on for Arsenal. And Brighton making a change as well. Kaylee Green making way, and Lee Gu-min on loan from Manchester City. He's on for Brighton, still yet to score for them. Smashed the bar against West Ham in the Continental Cup in midweek. And a real coup, Hope Powell says. Lee Gu-min hasn't quite worked for her at Manchester City, but certainly a player with real talent on the international stage as well. The South Korean. And here is international talent for England on the ball, and this will fall kindly for Vivianne Miedema. Excellent foot in there by Kirkdijk, and Gibbons just clipped by Miedema, who helps the ball back to the place at which the free kick needs to be taken. I think that's the most generous way we can say she's kicked the ball into Fliss Gibbons.
But look, from a trend of the game, we saw again there, you know, Arsenal managing to break through central areas, and that person on the end of the ball again, Miedema. But good defending that point from the centre-back, Kirkdijk. We're seeing Valti drop in a little bit deeper now to make kind of a 3 at the back when they build in. So again, something different for Brighton to deal with. And that front two, you know, when you do form that 3, it does make the decisions there harder to try and stop them playing through central areas. And now we've seen Valti obviously having lots of time and space to pick out a pass there.
Gibbons away for Brighton. Here is Lee Goo-min, the Manchester City loanee. Just 8 appearances for them last season after arriving following the World Cup last summer. 1 goal. She is a player with talent, and as Hope Powell says, a coup to bring in a player from Manchester City. Spending the season on loan with Brighton. Here is Van der Donk. Miedema making the run through the centre. Mace is up there as well. Well read by Maya Le Tissier. Away by Megan Walsh. Gibbons breaking forward for Brighton.
Again, we see it's not leading to anything for them, is it? It's a bit disappointing for them when they get in possession right now, Brighton. They're working so hard to stay organised, to win the ball back, but it's about being more effective when they do have the ball as a team.
McKay. Valti. What sort of marker does this put down then for Arsenal if we are looking at their season as a whole? What can we add to our knowledge from this match?
Look, I think it's a great result for them if it does stay this way, or even get better, looking at the opportunity that might arise from this.
There's Miedema, dangerous ball in, and it's converted by Lotte Wubben-Moy at the far post. Arsenal do have their 4th. And it's a goal for the young substitute. Courtesy of that woman, Vivianne Miedema. She started things off for Arsenal. She's helped to finish them here. And Arsenal do have their 4th. Brighton 0, Arsenal 4.
Great run on the left flank here from Miedema, and a fantastic delivery. And how happy is Wubben-Moy right now? Whoa, great finish from her. And obviously she's playing in a deep area right now. She's a fullback, so getting that high up the pitch and getting a good contact, you'll say, oh, she couldn't have missed. But look, whoa, that was nearly hitting the post to get on the end of that. But good finish, and really happy for the youngster, really happy.
And Arsenal might not be finished here.
Well, going back to your question of what would they think, well, they'll be happy. It's a 4-0 scoreline that could be better in the next 10 minutes, looking how the game's panning out right now. And you think back to the start of the season where obviously Brighton have gone to Manchester City, they've taken a point there. So this was always going to be an interesting game to call, because Brighton aren't going to lay down and just let you take the 3 points. They're going to work extremely hard to try and compete, and they have done it at times. You know, they're very well organised, but they do have to take more opportunities. When they get the opportunities in the final third, like right now, decision making, detail a pass, you know, those things can be better for them.
Here is Connolly, well left by O'Sullivan for Cargman. We'll come to Lee. Now Le Tissier. Lee again. She might go for goal. She will go for goal. Zinsberger had to make the save. Williams will keep it alive for Brighton. Will fall to Lee. Gibbons. Whelan will steal it away, but won't be able to keep it in. Well, we said she hit the bar against West Ham. It was from a similar position. Zinsberger dealing with this one.
Yeah, manages to get a strike off there. Pretty tight area, you know, 2 or 3 around her, but not quite close enough to affect from an Arsenal perspective. A good strike, but easy enough save for Zinsberger in the end.
Brighton not giving up this effort to get on the score sheet.
And it is just that final pass, isn't it? Like delivery there into the box, you know, it needs to be better for them to try and get back in this game or claw something back from the game.
Important touch by Lee, sent back by Kirkdyke. Oh, what a moment that was for her. Lotte Wubben-Moy, rejoining Arsenal last month after playing college football in the USA, came through Arsenal's academy, and her first goal for the club.
Yeah, she'll be reliving that one a lot, I'd imagine, for the next few hours or few days or weeks even. Really good occasion for her, and good work ethic to get that high up on the park and obviously make the contact when she needed to, but great delivery from Miedema.
Williamson spots the space for Miedema. Another fabulous delivery from the Arsenal centre half. A delicate layoff from Miedema. Caught by Walsh from the boot of Katie McCabe.
Yeah, and we've seen variation with Arsenal play today. You know, at times there's been often they've gone around this Brighton defensive unit. There's been lots of times where they've had a great switch of play over. And that was just one good example of it. But you know, for the 90 minutes of the game, this Brighton team have been pretty hard to break down. They haven't made it easy for Arsenal, which you look at the scoreline right now and you may think otherwise, but it hasn't been a game where Arsenal are having chance after chance after chance. You can see the Brighton are developing as a group, and obviously we're going to see some changes now, so to rest some tired legs, because they've worked extremely hard as a group.
Yes, Emily Simpkins is coming on for Denise O'Sullivan. Well, we've seen glimpses of what O'Sullivan can do this afternoon, that excellent solo run.
Yeah, and she played a little bit deeper than I was expecting her to be fair. Played in that midfield role alongside Bowman, and they've worked extremely hard in there to try and nullify the opportunities for Arsenal.
But this is a painful one here. Treatment necessary. But she is back up to her feet. And we mentioned Brighton's injury problems earlier, not as extensive as Arsenal in terms of numbers, but without their teenage winger Katie Robinson out for the season. Leila Garrick as well, returning to France, turning down a new deal. She was a big player for them last season, as is Maya Le Tissier. And she will be pleased, Hope Powell, that she's at least able to walk off there. And Kirsty Barton will replace Maya Le Tissier. Just getting that in there as part of that final substitution opportunity. Well, we've spoken about Arsenal and what we can learn from them from this performance this afternoon. What would your reflections be on Brighton and what they will offer in the WSL this season? As we've said, Jane, they have been difficult for large parts of this match to break down. A couple of goalkeeping question marks for the first 2 goals, but certainly it could have been more for Arsenal had it not been for some resolute defending. But again, it's that question of being able to hurt teams up front.
Yeah, and it comes down to those, finer details, doesn't it? They work extremely hard as a team to make sure they're not easily broken down. Some defensive errors that they could definitely progress with and get better at as individuals and collectively as a backline unit, which I'm sure they'll reflect on and work on. If they can tighten up those areas, then they are competitive, but what they have to do is make sure they take points from the teams as they go through the season. And it may not be that they're looking at the games of your Arsenals, your Chelseas, your Man Cities to get points from, but it may be the focus from the coaches. They are looking at those mid-table teams and they want to be able to compete very well with those. So who knows? This very early days in the season, I think Hope and her coaching staff will definitely say there's been improvements now over the last year and into this season for them. The start of the season has been great, the first 2 games, but it's can they pick up points now as they go through, and there will be times they come up against these top teams that they may think it's a little bit unrealistic to get the win from them, but they do want to go out there and compete to the best of their ability.
Ruben Moy keen to get a second goal for Arsenal, closing down Megan Walsh there. She'll have to get back now, although maybe not, as Arsenal win the ball back. Van der Donk to Miedema. Will fall to Van der Donk. Here is McCabe. Close.
But look, we've just spoken about Brighton as a team, and there's been instances today where they've given the ball away in build-up play in the middle third and given it to the likes of Van der Donk, who we see on the ball, and Miedema, and they can't be doing those things because Arsenal have made the most of those opportunities at times, and any team will. If you're losing the ball in central areas just outside your box, it's going to be a problem for you. So it's definitely an area I think they'll look to develop in how they possess the ball and how they try and break through teams, because at times today Arsenal found it too easy to pick them off and pinch those balls.
And the player of the match, Danielle Van der Donk, scorer of Arsenal's second this afternoon. Well, we picked her out at the start of the game, Jane, and she's had an influence.
Yeah, and look, obviously there's an obvious reason she scored a goal. She's on the score sheet, but just speaking about her, she's one of the main players for Arsenal who've pinched the ball back. She's done a lot of work defensively in that 10 role, and she's read the game really well, because she is the one that's been pinching and sending Arsenal on the attack a lot. And yeah, she's my man of the match today.
Here comes Ruby Mace for Arsenal. Miedema cleared away by Stott. Williams to Simpkins. Williams will send it forward. Can Brighton find a way to break down this Arsenal back line, at least get on the score sheet? Not if Arsenal pick up possession like that. Mace, lovely ball out to the left. Good.
She's very composed on the ball, Gut. I haven't watched her play too much. Swiss international, say eventually. Very talented central midfield player for them.
Lovely touch from Miedema, has McCabe in space. Crowded out of it by Brighton, but manages to get the ball back in, and Miedema has the 5th. She scored the first, she scored the last. Viviana Miedema makes it Brighton 0, Arsenal 5.
Yeah, and you look at the game and the details that players are deciding, the choices they're making in the final third. And look, Katie McCabe for Arsenal here, great decision to lift it up over those defenders and puts it on a plate for Miedema, doesn't she? Obviously, it's a volley she has to deal with, but she deals with it very well. Keeps the ball down and good contact and gets it past goalkeeper and defender on the line there.
And it's that predatory finish that we're so used to seeing, Jane Ludlow.
Yeah, and it's been an effective game from her. I think, she'll look back and go, well, she could have had more. there's a few chances I'm recalling now, and she's put herself in the right positions and not quite got the detail at times, but you know, still very effective.
A tough day at the office in the end for Brighton and Hope Powell, but a 5-star performance from Arsenal. They go top of the Women's Super League once again, and their 100% start to the league season continues. 2 goals for Vivianne Miedema, Daniela van der Donk, Jem Beattie and Lotte Wubben-Moy with her first goal for the club, getting on the score sheet as well. And it finishes at the People's Pension Stadium. Brighton and Hove Albion 0, Arsenal 5.